And welcome back to Retro Wrestling Games Presents. I'm your host, Lex G, and with me, as always, is Matt Riley. How you doing today, Matt?
I'm still awake.
Holding on by a thread. It's good to people a little peek behind the curtain. We do these at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so...
Sure do.
Because, I have kids and stuff, so I can't have them running around and and messing up these shows. So.
Yeah.
Bless their hearts. So today's episode is WWF Wrestlemania Challenge for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, WWF Wrestlemania Challenge was put out through Acclaim. It's an LJN property developed by Rare, who are very known for their notable, good games. But unfortunately, Rare wasn't really good at the wrestling game, especially in the late 80s, early 90s. The roster on this game, we have Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, the Macho King, Randy Savage.
Oh boy.
The Ultimate Warrior, the Big Boss Man, Brutus, the Barber Beefcake, Ravishing Rick Rude, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Yourself, which I think is Russian. I think it's a Russian. No, it's Yourself. That's you.
Oh boy. Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. The game was originally supposed to be WWF Survivor Series, but they kind of changed it. I guess, for whatever reason, the WrestleMania name sells more, or the game came out at a later time and was pushed back, so they changed the name.
Mm-hmm.
So, in playing this game, it's okay. I would say it's average at best. Way better than the original WWF WrestleMania game for the NES, which is actually, absolutely terrible, and it's dog shit. I think the wrestler models in the game, I think they look pretty good. Hulk Hogan's very dark. I'm pretty sure he's Puerto Rican in this game, because he's very dark skinned. They were all tan back in the day. So I don't know why Ravishing Rick Rude and Hulk Hogan skin color is so different, but whatever. What are you gonna do? What's cool about that is each wrestler has their own unique theme song. So their themes are in the game, and as you wrestle throughout the matches, it has their theme. It has the crowd, it has a good shot at the ring. The ring is huge. So overall, the presentation is not too bad, especially for 1990. Where this game really kind of drops the ball is in gameplay. And we talk about wrestling controls. And it's still exceedingly difficult to pull off anything. So the only thing I was able to basically pull off was a body slam and like an elbow drop. Punches or kicks are useless. It's difficult to do pins. Almost impossible to get to the top rope. And there's a couple of times where I got knocked out of the ring and couldn't figure out how to get back in. So that's always an issue with these games. Like, gameplay is the biggest thing. So if your controls are good, no matter how shitty the characters look or what have you, you're going to have a fun game. This game is alright. It's not too bad, it's not too good, it's basically average, I guess. Average is the name of the game for this game, so...
Yeah.
This was the last game that was developed by Rare. They went to Sculptured Software after this, which did the Super WrestleMania. So, those games are actually a lot better than these games. So, glad they made the switch. So, the modes of play for this game, you have, one-on-one match, you have a tag team match, you have a 3-on-3 Survivor Series match, and then you have a championship mode. Unfortunately, for the championship mode, you can only play as yourself. So you can't have Hogan win the belt, or Randy Savage, or Ravishing Rick Rude, or the Big Boss Man win the championship, because you can't play as them in the championship mode, which is dog shit. I mean, that's stupid.
That's pretty dumb.
It's just stupid. And it wasn't like it's create a wrestler like nowadays, where you can customize them and make him look like you, or make him look like another wrestler. It's just a normal looking dude. It's pretty ridiculous overall.
Yeah.
So they had the tag team match, which it took me a while to figure out that you had to press select to tag out. And you don't really tag. You kind of just jump over the ring, and then your partner jumps into the ring over the top rope, which looks ridiculous. They do flicker on the outside. For whatever reason, I don't know why it does that, but that looks like dog shit. So, Matt, I know you've seen some footage of this game. What do you think?
Oh, it's awful.
What don't you like about it?
Oh, it's a terrible gameplay. It's that generic small figure I will say I do like that Andre the Giant is larger.
Yes.
That's a good feature at least.
Yes. You know, you have the stamina bars which are on the apron, which is whatever. You know, once you basically get it down to nothing, and then you're able to pin them if you can figure out how to pick them. But unfortunately, it's a little difficult to figure out how to pin. At least for me. Now, I consider myself an average gamer at best. I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst either. And I definitely had a hard time with this game. You know, my favorite wrestler to use. I'm a big Savage fan, so I'm glad he made it into the game. So it looks like this game takes place. I'm looking at pre-WrestleMania 6. Maybe post-WrestleMania 6, because on the title screen it has Warrior with the belt. So maybe we can say pre-SummerSlam, perhaps?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so pre-SummerSlam. So I like to put a time and a date on this game. This game wasn't released until November of 1990, so I would say pre-SummerSlam is a development cycle on this one. I do like the cover of the game. It features Hulk Hogan, the Big Boss Man, Ultimate Warrior, Andre, and the Macho King on there. I think overall, if you're a hardcore wrestling game collector like I am, I don't call myself a wrestling game collector. I'm more of a wrestling game enthusiast because I play the games. They don't sit on a shelf, so I consider myself a wrestling game enthusiast. This is another game on the list of wrestling games that are out there, and unless you're collecting it, there's no reason to buy it. There's no reason to kind of pick it up. You can find it, pretty cheap. It's $2 or $3 with that, not complete. I think I paid $10 for mine. It was complete with box with the instructions in it. So I think overall, it's an average at best. I would give it a solid C+. So the title of this game is WrestleMania Challenge, and we'll talk a little bit about some of our favorite WrestleMania matches. I do want to talk quickly about the Macho King, though. So do you remember how the Macho King became the Macho King?
He won King of the Ring, I think, right?
No, I mean he did win the King of the Ring, but it wasn't for the King of the Ring. They were doing this strange thing with the King of Wrestling, like you can put it up like a championship. So it was Harley Race who had it first, and then he got hurt, and they made Haku the new king.
Oh yeah, King Haku, yes.
Yeah. So they had at the Royal Rumble '89, they had Haku versus Harley Race to see who the king is, and Haku won that match too. Haku lost the crown to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who in turn lost the crown to Randy Savage. So they did this really cool coronation when they had all the heels come out. You had Brother Love out there. You had Lanny Poffo, the genius, saying a poem. And you had Ted DiBiase giving them a nice golden scepter and stuff. I thought it was really cool. So I always liked the Macho King. I guess that period of his career doesn't get really talked about much because he was feuding with Dusty Rhodes and that bullshit. Fucking bullshit fucking feud. You know why that pissed me off?
Because he made him look stupid?
It was stupid. And they never really had the one-on-one kind of blow-off. I mean, you had the WrestleMania match, which was a intergender match, which was Randy Savage and Sensational Sherry versus Dusty and Sapphire. I think they had another match after that, maybe on... No, they did have another match. It was... it was on Saturday Night's Main Event, and that's when you had a young Dustin Rhodes in the audience, and $1 Million Man bought up the front row, and he wanted Dustin's seat, and Dustin wouldn't give it to him because he's a good guy, and they beat him up. And that led into the Ted DiBiase and Dusty Rhodes feud, which again was awful too. I can't find Sapphire. They lost Sapphire at SummerSlam.
Oh yeah.
And it was Ted DiBiase who was giving her all the bought a new Cadillac and the fur coats. It was ridiculous. Even Sapphire had a price, folks. Sapphire had a price.
Sapphire, damn you.
Damn you to hell. So Matt, what are some of your favorite WrestleMania memories, matches, what have you?
Oh man, most are the earlier ones actually. It's weird, even though more WrestleManias have happened. I'm gonna call it recently, I guess. I would say that my favorite memories go back to Billy Jack Haynes, Hercules Hernandez, post match where he locks on the Phil Nelson and just spits all over his.
If I recall that correctly, that match was a count out because I think Billy Jack put the Phil Nelson on the outside.
I mean, that's what happened. Yeah, but it was just
smart move, Billy Jack.
Yeah, Billy Jack, good guy.
He might kill you.
Yes. I think Bundy dropping the elbow on Little Beaver.
Nice.
Just a classic classy move.
Feel bad for King Kong Bundy because he was in the main event of 2, and then he was in like in a comedy match in 3. No shit. And I still say to this day that the main event of WrestleMania 2 should have been Hogan versus Terry Funk, but that's my own problem.
Yeah. No. Oh man, it's just for a while. It's like I think the Austin Hart match.
13.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that stands out. I mean, obviously Savage Steamboat, but
I think it's on everyone's list.
Yeah.
So,
what was it 4 where Piper came out, or 5? He fought Bad News.
That was 6 when he painted himself half black. Yes.
Yes.
Again, Piper wasn't going to lose that one. Neither was Bad News. Double counted it was.
Yeah.
Great job, guys. I mean, for me, it's like Hogan Warrior, Hogan Savage in 5, which is like I think my all-time favorite match. I want to say. You had Warrior and Savage at 7. I think everything after 2000 gets blurred up a little bit.
Yeah.
For me as well. But you can't talk about WrestleMania without the Shawn Michaels Undertaker matches. Like those matches were fantastic.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, TLC, with the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. I mean, that was fantastic. Love that. That's good stuff. The Tournament of 4, again, that's the show that made Macho.
Yep. I just think there's so many tag matches after, like, even some of the earlier ones were fun to watch, like the old classic Heart Foundation ones. It's like just classic bad guy heel behavior.
Yeah. I like it was Strike Force versus Demolition. They did it 2 years in a row.
Oh, yeah.
They did it at 4 and 5. The second one was Martel's turned heel.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Oh, no. The model.
But it goes into the depth of not only their roster, but how good their character was, because those characters kind of stand the test of time. Like, you don't say Brutus Beefcake without saying the Barber. You know what I mean? Like, all of Adrian Adonis still sticks out in my mind. That's how strong those characters. And it goes to show you that, like, talking about like the first 15 WrestleManias versus the last 15 WrestleManias, and I've been to 2 of them, and how the first kind of 15 can really stand out in my mind and still really fresh, where the kind of the current ones, the modern ones, are not so much.
Well, I think one of the things that happened is that you water down the show because there's so many matches.
Yeah.
Where, not the same like WrestleManias, the early ones didn't have, let's say, 10 matches.
14. They averaged 14 matches.
14. But it didn't feel like that, like it just... Now it just feels like they're putting people on, like, well, you gotta put them somewhere.
Now they have this thing where they want to put everyone on the roster on the show. So you have like these big battle royals, the like 9-person intercontinental ladder match. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, if you're not good enough, you didn't get on those shows. I don't think Coco Beware is on WrestleMania 4. Right. You know what I mean?
No, but I agree. I don't mind seeing the battle royal because it's an easy fix. It's a fun event to watch. Make it once a year. The Under the Giant battle royal. It gives it a little, okay, here's some time for this guy or that guy. But again, I don't think everyone should automatically get a spot on the show. It's a reward, who's earned it.
I'm a big fan of, and I keep on saying Savage. That's because of my love of Savage, I guess. Savage versus Flair at 8. That was fantastic. You have Piper versus Brett at 8 as well. And they did this system so cool too. It was like, ref bump, Piper gets the bell, and he looks like he's gonna whack Bret Hart. But then he changes his mind. Like his conscience was telling him, like, no, Roddy, you're good. You can't bash him with the bell. But then Roddy ends up losing anyway.
Yeah. And
I believe that's the only time he lost clean in the WWF. That's the only match he ever lost.
Really?
He didn't even lose the Hogan clean until. Not even clean, but he lost him in WCW, but he never lost to Hogan in WWF at all. He usually double count out disqualification, like all those, like never got pinned. Isn't that good? Do you think that was good for business back then? Like, what's your opinion on guys not wanting to do jobs?
Oh, I think it's ridiculous. Like it goes back to the whole Flair destroying NWA. Jobs are part of the business, and I think if you have someone who won't do them, it just makes you look ridiculous. I mean, I'm not saying you have to job out for no reason, but like if you sell the moment in the match, people will go, "Oh, that move was great," devastating.
Because if you watch a lot of those early WWF pay-per-views, you see a lot of double countouts. You'll see a lot of double DQs, regular DQs, countouts, and like nowadays, if you would have done like a countout win at WrestleMania, there fucking people would riot.
Right.
It's like we want winners and losers on this, and I think they proved to the extent now like the winning and losing doesn't really hurt them all that much. But,
if you go back to NWA when Magnum and Nikita had the Best of 7 series,
yeah,
they went back and forth, and that helped sell the legitimacy of the series.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like, because I always say when they make the bad guys out to be they can only win when they cheat. Well, you know, they're not that much of a threat.
No. And I think Honky Tonk Man said it the best. He's like, you don't cheat because you have to. You cheat because you want to.
Yeah.
And that's a heel. You know what I mean? You don't have to cheat because that's the only way I can win. It's like, no, I cheat because I like it. You know,
right.
I'm badass. It's like someone in the NFL that does dirty tactics. You know, so they're like, who is it? Cortland Finnegan? Remember him? Is he still around?
Cortland Finnegan. No, doesn't ring a bell. What do you do?
He was a cornerback back in the day that just got underneath people's skins like wide receivers, and he was pretty good cornerback until I think he got traded to the Raiders. I think.
Oh.
But he was known for being dirty tactics. But yeah, he was a pretty good player. I liked him. I'll watch shit. He's currently with the New Orleans Saints right now.
Oh, Colton Finnegan. All right.
Good for you. So I think WrestleMania as a whole, has it become too big? Do they need to kind of tone it back? Let's get 8 matches on there that really mean something, and kind of get it out of these stadiums. Get them back into some arenas.
Oh, I can see that.
Because not only do they have now it's a 4-hour show, and you have the musical performance. One year we had Diddy, do a rap. I couldn't understand anything. It was at WrestleMania 29. I was there, and I couldn't understand anything he was saying. But as WrestleMania gotten too big, you gotta kind of scale it back a little bit. Maybe bring it back to the Garden. I would only hope. Because they're doing 80,000, 100,000 people, but it's like, is it too big? Because at some point it's gonna start coming back down. They were supposed to do 100,000 people WrestleMania 7. They couldn't do it.
Yeah,
they had to do 12 at the LA Sports Arena, and they couldn't do it. But and overall, I mean, WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl. They do the Fan Fest, which the one in New York was bullshit. That one was really, really shitty compared to the other ones that I've seen. Like some of them were really good, but the ones they had in Jersey that one year was not good. I thought the SummerSlam one was better because you got to see the Andre trophy and that kind of. I got a picture with the Andre trophy. It was really cool. And to me, it's a shame. I want to kind of finish up with this. It's a shame that a lot of people didn't see Andre in his prime. And they kind of remember him for the end of his career. But Andre was doing leapfrogs and drop kicks and coming from the top rope like the Big Show used to do. And I think a lot of people you don't know how good a worker he actually was. Before it became like the WrestleMania 3 Andre, where he basically only did was choke and sit on you and step on you, and that was it. He was a really good worker, and it's a shame that that giant disease got him. Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Now there's a cure for that now, and Big Show has a cure. They cured him of that disease.
Really?
Yeah. Because he would have kept on you keep growing, and then your heart can't hold up. So yeah, what are you gonna do? So overall, WWF WrestleMania Challenge, it is an average game, slightly better than mediocre. I think the visuals are good. I think the overall look of the game, the music is solid. The gameplay is where I have a problem with this game. I just couldn't get the controls right, and I can only do body slam and elbow drop. So that was it. And that gets kind of repetitive and boring after a while, and there's not much replay value in that. So I probably would stay away from this game if you had your choice of games. If you want to play a good wrestling game, you may want to check out Pro Wrestling, one of the original Black Box games.
Yeah. And
maybe we're going to do that in a future show once I get it. The game's expensive. Or even the WCW game is actually pretty good. I think it's better than this one. So overall, my thoughts on this game? Meh. That's about it.
All right.
All right, so we're rapidly running out of time. So for Matt Riley, I'm Lex G.